the woke virus inevitably infected this once-respected franchise, twisting it to suit the so-called modern audience.
Since when are Cybermen doing anti-woke videos?
Hello, and welcome to another Let's Shit on the Right Wing show. Today we are looking at...
Yeah, no, sorry, I can't do AI, it makes me lose brain cells. Let's try that again. Hello everybody and welcome back to another Let's Shit on the Right Wing show. Today we are covering a guy called AI versus Fans. Now, this guy, as far as I can tell, he likes AI. Taking a quick look at his channel, you can see they're about reviewing movies alongside AI. The discussions range from disagreement to playful mockery. So, kind of not really being reviews then, are they? Just, obviously, as you've already said, taking the piss. So, yeah, this guy's a little bit and he's done something on Doctor Who. And if you could just look at these thumbnails, every single one of them has a little bot of AI and says, "I'm watching you," and it feels a little creepy. Well, every single one after this Percy Jackson humiliation one, and it's a little creepy. But that's just that, innit? So why am I doing a video on this guy? Well, as you guys know, I do videos on people who do Doctor Who, and, well, yeah, this guy thinks Doctor Who's death by DEI is a thing. So, first obvious question, what is DEI? What does that mean? For those who don't know, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what it means. And let's just quickly mention that I think these guys want to get rid of DEI, so let's go through it one by one, yeah? So first, the concepts of DEI: diversity, the presence of difference in human identity such as race, gender, age, sexual orientation, ethnicity, and more. Okay, so let's get rid of diversity. Let's say we are going to get rid of diversity. That means everyone's got to be the same age, everyone's got to be the same skin tone, everyone's got to be the same sexual orientation, everyone's got to be the same gender. So you might as well just have one person playing every single role in a movie. If you don't want anyone being diverse, then yeah, because if you have a man and a woman in a movie together, hey, that's diversity. Just saying. Then we go to equity, the fair distribution of resources, access and opportunities so that everyone has what they need to succeed. I don't see why that's a bad thing at all. But let's say we're going to get rid of equity as well. We're not going to pay people who do more less just because they're younger. That's just straight discrimination, for example. So then we've got inclusion, the intentional effect to ensure that diverse individuals are welcome, supported and valued. This includes creating a space where people feel the sense of belonging and can share their perspectives. I mean, if we're getting rid of diversity, that one just goes alongside with it as well. So this is the type of person that I'm going to be going over today. One that thinks diversity, equity and inclusion is a terribly bad thing. So, without further ado, let's get into his video.
It's been 61 years since Doctor Who first graced our screens back in 1963. The show followed the adventures of an extraterrestrial called the Doctor, a Time Lord, meant to be a timeless family favourite. Originally crafted for a British audience, the show's core demographic was the traditional family unit: mother, father, and 2.5 children.
The fuck is 2.5 children? Anyway, he's one Google search. Just let's very quickly go. Doctor Who's core demographic originally. The original core demographic for Doctor Who was a mixed audience of children and adults. The BBC intended the show to be family friendly and appeal to a wide audience. The show's creator, Sidney Newman, wanted to bridge the gap between a large adult audience for sports and a large teenage audience for the jukebox jury. Got there in the end. So the point is, that's not a traditional family unit. That's not a mother, father, and a 2.5 children. Hell, I don't even know what a 2.5 child would be. Like, do you mean 2.5 children? 2 children and a pregnant person? Is that what you mean by 2.5? Or does it mean 2 children and a baby? No, because that would be a third child. No, it must mean 2 children and a pregnant person.
Over the decades, it aired for 60 years, with some seasons being fantastic and others not so much, but the viewers always tuned in.
Fun fact, they didn't. Let's go back to the 1980s when the John Nathan Turner era began. Now this, historically and famously, saw the decline of Classic Who. It started around here with the 5th and 6th Doctors. Now, most people say it will start with the 6th Doctor and Colin Baker and how they made him all violent and that, but it didn't. It started a little bit before that in Tom Baker's last season as the Doctor, with changes arriving with season 18 and John Nathan Turner coming to the helm in autumn of 1980. This is when the audience for Doctor Who fell dramatically to around 5 million viewers, and it's due chiefly to competition with ITV's network import of Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Which means this has happened before. Everything that you guys are saying, that Doctor Who is failing because it's woke, all of this has happened before. This is history repeating itself. And all that happened is Doctor Who went on a hiatus. Now, I'm going to come back to this point later on in the video, as I want to close the video off with something else. But I am coming back to this.
The series cleverly built in a plot device for change, regeneration. When a Time Lord is mortally wounded, they transform into a new incarnation. But then, the woke virus inevitably infected this once-respected franchise, twisting it to suit the so-called modern audience.
I'm so glad you didn't use woke mind virus, because that just screams Elon Musk. But as we've already covered on this channel multiple times before, the definition of woke is to be aware of and actively attentive to important facts and issues, especially of racial and social injustice. So if you're against racism, you're woke. If you're against any type of social injustice, guess what? You're woke. But it can also mean politically liberal, especially as a way that is considered extreme. It's used disapprovingly, and that's only by the right. There is nothing wrong with being woke. There is nothing extreme about it either. Like, being aware of racial and social injustices and not liking the fact that there are racial and social injustices shouldn't be considered extreme.
And this decline is visible clear as day if only you look at the plummeting viewing numbers. The franchise's downfall began in 2017 when Jodie Whittaker was cast as the 13th Doctor. Media lapdogs hailed this change and slammed any fans who dared to criticize. The Doctor had always been a British man with a warm accent, so this gender swap irked the fans. It wasn't just about a female Doctor. What really rubbed fans the wrong way was Jodie Whittaker's portrayal, coming off as an arrogant, superior and entitled bint throughout the season.
So I had to listen to that again just to make sure that I was getting the right idea. And quite frankly, I don't have the right idea. I don't think I do anyway, because all I'm getting from that is offensive and derogatory attention towards Jodie Whittaker because she's a woman. I mean, That's what bint means, if you didn't know. Bint is a offensive and derogatory slang term for a girl or a woman, according to my research that I did, because I had never heard that before. Never once. But I think the point he's trying to make, or thinks that he is successfully making, is that when Jodie Whittaker was announced, nobody liked it because of her acting, which made absolutely no sense because she hadn't acted as the Doctor yet. I mean, she got cast as the Doctor, and as far as I can remember, because I remember it quite well, she was excited, and she was looking forward to it, and she was hyped, as were a lot of people that I knew, as were quite a big number of the fandom, and as she rightfully should be, as any Doctor is when they're first cast into the role. Hell, she got cast to be the Doctor. I don't understand the point he's trying to make. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's probably gone right over my head. So if any of you in the comments you do know, just point that out, point me out. Just, yeah. But I don't know why he thinks that fans were irked by the gender swap, considering it had been mentioned by Neil Gaiman actually in The Doctor's Wife, when the Corsair was described by the Doctor to be both a man and a woman, having both gender swaps in the show. We've seen it twice before Jodie's Doctor, with the Master regenerating into Misty, and then back again in Hellbent with the General regenerating from a man into a woman. And it turns out that if you listen very closely, you can actually gather that that was that person's first male body that died out. So, you know.
When Whittaker was announced as the first female Doctor, the media went wild. They praised it as groundbreaking. They wrote articles about how excited the fans were. They called the show utterly brilliant. But when the viewing numbers rolled in, it was clear. The fan base rejected this change. The show was bad, the acting worse, and Whittaker's performance was the worst of all. So naturally, the media doubled down, attacking the fans and portraying Whittaker as the victim, gaslighting the fan base and calling them bigots.
Well, you can be seen as a little bit of a bigot when you just call someone a bint for no reason at all. But ignoring that little jab, they didn't. They saw an opportunity and they took the opportunity. And the opportunity was to call out people like you, the ones that are trapped in their own right-wing bubble. Now, I've seen different takes on reviews and things. I research all the time, and I've seen balanced from left and right, for people that are taking the entire thing, going with a clear mind, instead of people like you and other people I've covered that go in thinking this is going to be shit because it's shit. That's the mindset that a lot of the people I cover tend to have when going into a Doctor Who video or making a Doctor Who video. And that's not a healthy mindset to have. That's pretty negative. But you can tell the type of people that do and don't. That's why I've picked out the people that I have covered. That's why the list I've got for people to cover has those certain people on that list. Because they all come across as if they've only got this one mindset and nothing will change their mind, so it's all imbalanced, one-sided, one viewpoint. That's why I do these videos, to try and balance them out and call them out.
After the disastrous ratings and viewership numbers, the studios hit panic mode and decided to save the show by casting David Tennant as the 14th Doctor. This move managed to bring some of the audience back, but then, in an illogical twist, the studios cast a black gay man from Rwanda to play the iconic Doctor created for the British audience.
I'm going to go back to Hellbent just for a very quick second, because we had a Time Lord in Hellbent not only regenerate from a man to a woman, but they regenerated from a white man to a black woman. And guess what? No one has a problem with it. Not a single person. No one has a problem with things from Moffat's era backwards because it's not post-Jodie. Like, the issues they've got with those stories are very basic, down to the storytelling. Not any of the things that they claim are an issue now. Like, hell, you've got 75% of people in the UK are white, so Doctor Who's cast a black man as the Doctor. So fucking what? Why is that a bad thing? I don't understand why you think that's a bad thing. And yeah, he may have been born in Rwanda, but he was there for 2 years. He was raised in Scotland. He's basically Scottish, and we've already had 3 other Doctors that are Scottish. 3 other actors that were Scottish and played the Doctor. That's Sylvester McCoy, David Tennant, and Peter Capaldi. I'm going back to Capaldi's era quite a bit in my references and in this video, because a lot of what these guys are saying are easily debunked by the existence of Series 8, 9 and 10.
This change was clearly for ESG points, as Ncuti Gatwa ticks all the diversity boxes, and predictably, it got a 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics because, of course, they consider the show so brilliant. Now we're seeing history repeat itself just like with Jodie Whittaker. The media outlets praised this as groundbreaking. They wrote articles about how excited the fans were. They called the show utterly brilliant. But alongside all these articles, we saw one of the most disgusting campaigns to attack the fans from both media outlets as well as the people involved in the show. The main actor constantly victimized himself and attacked the fan base, calling them all sorts of names. Every argument he made centered around his skin color and sexual orientation.
Because that's what was getting attacked. That's what was getting attacked. Not the fact that it was shoddy writing. Not the fact that it was anything to do with the effects or the budget or the fact that Disney owned it. Ncuti was being attacked because he was Ncuti Gatwa. The whole point of you making that point is to try and say, oh, he's a villain, by achieving this, by starting this campaign against the fans. What? An organised course of action to achieve a goal. What goal? What organised course of action? What campaign? You are trying to look for something that just isn't there. And your response to this, if you do make a response, will probably be that I'm being blind to something that is there. And you're wrong. Very wrong. Because, hello, it's very clear. Now, I am not the praiser of Season 1, Series 14, whatever you want to call it. There was definitely some questionable moments in there. I've made my ranking video on this series. Go watch that if you want. I will not be releasing a video on Joy to the World until Season 2 is released, so I could fit it into rankings. So if you are looking forward to a Joy to the World video, you're waiting. You are waiting. It's as simple as that.
In none of his interviews did he talk about the franchise, the acting, the scenery, the production, the story, or the visual effects. It was all about his sexuality and how he wanted to defeat an enemy by twerking. And anyone who disagreed with him was labeled a racist or a phobe.
Before going on my tangent, I mentioned how it was because Ncuti was getting attacked because of who he was. No one was attacking the visuals. The visuals looked stunning. And then people started attacking the space babies and some of the questionable things. And even fans just didn't like. I hated space babies. It was so bad. Like, terrible. I can't rewatch it. I will not rewatch it. I refuse to rewatch Space Babies because it's bad. It's terrible. Like everything, the story itself is bad. Ncuti's acting is decent. Millie Gibson's was meh, but the babies was putting me off so badly. The story was all over the place. Half of it was cut. Ugh, my days. You just proved my previous point before I went on my side tangent. So, thank you for that.
The showrunner, Russell T Davies, has been attacking and disrespecting fans long before this change. His disrespect towards the audience is nothing new. He openly admitted to adding his own queerness to the show because he believes this is how the entire world actually looks like, and that the people who complain are just a small minority on Twitter.
I'll admit Russell T Davies has said some questionable things, like going back to that other screenshot that they used by Robbie Gardner, that Davros not being a wheelchair user, the fact that he's partially the fact that Davros is a mutated Khalid in a life support system. Like their comment that they made, I'll put it on the screen. It was a fair enough comment, and I actually agree with what they said. And it was very nice structured. It was quite well done. But I don't like Russell T Davies' response of tough. I thought that was just a little bit rude, a little bit obnoxious. But actually, no, I'm not even going to put a but there. I'm just going to ignore it. So I'll admit, and I'll agree with that. However, given credit where credit's due, I'm now going to agree that Twitter, or X, is just a cesspit of toxicity. Which is why you should come and follow me on Blue Sky! I have a Blue Sky account. Go follow me. It's Twitter, but better and not a toxic cesspit.
Imagine the bubble this person is living in, believing that everyone in the world is gay and wants to watch shows only with queer people.
Ignore Twitter being a toxic cesspit. Maybe this guy is the toxic cesspit. No one claimed that. What? Russell never said that everyone in the world was gay and wanted to watch queerness. No one said that. Having LGBT people in Doctor Who has never been new. It's not a new thing at all. Like, there was a theory going around way back that Tegan and Nyssa were a couple and liked each other, which then got debunked by Chibnall in Power of the Doctor, something I actually didn't mind in all say. I just not really a fan. Actually, to be fair, I'm not a fan of Doctor on companion relationships. But yeah, there's obviously a lot of theories on Adric, for obvious reasons. Jamie and number 2, they shared a special bond, which is really nice to see. Representation, hell, Colin Baker wore a giant rainbow coat with question marks. I mean, I don't know about you, but that is the definition of questioning.
I wonder if he blames that small group of Twitter users for the extremely low viewer numbers. And to top it all off, the new villain, introduced as a they-them, also started attacking the fan base and showing them the door. Gone are the days when movies aimed to be entertaining. Now it's all about ticking as many diversity boxes as possible.
You know, TV shows can do both. They can be inclusive and have DEI and be entertaining. Like, that is a possible thing to do, but I suppose entertainment can be subjective. And if you don't want to see these things, read a fucking book or make it yourself. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand these people. I still don't understand these people. I recognise this video is nearly 35 minutes long now, and I don't like to go over that or around that, so I'm going to have to start to round this off soon. But before I do, just because you don't find it entertaining doesn't mean that other people don't find it entertaining. I mean, I find it mostly entertaining. There's times where it can be a bit of a drag, yes, but what can't be a drag? Also, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having someone using they them pronouns, like, at all. I don't understand why people think it's an issue. I've seen people on TikTok saying, hey, let's boycott pronouns. And I'm just going to leave that point there. But that's going to be all from me. Thank you all for watching this video. If you did enjoy, I know it's a little bit on the longer side, then please do leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment. First video back in a while. I know, I'm still getting used to things. I have new channels, the gaming channel, the VOD channel. Any Twitch stream I do goes to the VOD channel. Any gaming videos I've got planned goes on the gaming channel. I have things ready and waiting to upload. Go check those out. But yeah, thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Bye.